Let's start with Chapter 6 System Hacking. System hacking is the process of hacking into any system. System here means a computer machine running on any operating system. There are basically three categories of OS available in the market: Windows OS based systems, Linux OS based systems, and Mac OS based systems. In computer security context, a hacker hacks into a system by finding out the vulnerabilities and loopholes in the system and exploiting the computer or a computer network. System hacking can be performed manually or by using automated software which you can either download from internet or buy from hackers underground markets and channels. System hacking is the best way to compromise the whole machine of a target. Once system is compromised, we can extract any information involved in it. Let us now look into some of the basic system hacking techniques involved. There are various ways to perform system hacking. Some of them are listed as follows: brute forcing on user account, exploiting unpatched services, which means here vulnerable services of a system, using backdoor and remote administration programs, password guessing attacks, infecting system using malicious software, or social engineering attacks. Moving on to password tracking. Password tracking is the process of an attempt to guess or track the password in order to gain unauthorized access to the computer or computer network. It can be done by simply guessing the password or using automated tools or with the help of some specialized code. Password tracking can be done for both good and bad purpose. Suppose if someone lost his password, then it can help the person to log in again into his or her machine, while on the other side, a hacker can use the same technique to intrude into the machine. It is important for us to understand the classifications of password attacks. The first classification that we shall deal here with is dictionary attack. It is a method of ba- breaking into a password protected machine by entering every word in a dictionary as a password. A dictionary attack can also be used in an attempt to find the key necessary to decrypt an encrypted message or document. Dictionary attack works by comparing the words in a dictionary by the possible match of the password. It is clear that possible passwords are combinations of alphabets, small or capital, numeric values ranging from 0 to 9, and special characters. Hence, there is a chance to break the authentication by dictionary attack. Moving on to another classification: brute force attacks. A brute force attack may have a dictionary of words or commonly used password which can be used to gain access of the machine. A brute force attack uses every possible combination to break the encrypted password. The time taken to break the key depends upon the type of key and its length. The final type of password based attacks is a hybrid attack. It is a mixture of both dictionary and brute force attacks. Hybrid attack is a combination attack. On one hand, it has dictionary, and on the other hand, it has brute forcing. We can also say that dictionary attack, when used in conjunction with a brute force attack, leads to a hybrid attack. Now let us look into LM hash and SAM file. LM hash, also known as LM hash manager, which is a primary hashing function used in the Microsoft Windows version prior to Windows NT. SAM file is also known as Security Account Manager. This is the file which stores user password in hashed format in Windows XP, Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 8.1. You can see this file under the path c/windows/system32/config/sam. But when the system runs, this file cannot be accessed. This file is engaged by machine in various processes. We can access this file with live OS, and by using this tool, we can edit SAM file and clear the password present in it. The tool which is mostly used for this purpose is ironboot. Looking into the term SysKey. SysKey is another security mechanism present in Windows to secure user credential. Most of the users are not aware of this feature available in Windows. SysKey is used to encrypt the hashed password in SAM database in Windows-based operating systems using a 128-bit RC4 encryption algorithm. Now a basic introduction on the tool Spoot. Spoot is a bootable disk containing a number of inbuilt programs for drive partition, disk cloning or imaging, data recovery, system performance, and BIOS tools. Apart from this, it has many others for fixing various computer problems. With help of this live bootable media, we can reset any user account password in Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 8.1. Now, it is important for us to take a look into some of the basic countermeasures that can be employed in order to prevent password tracking. Password tracking can be prevented by enforcing 8 to 12 character of password, and it should be alphanumeric in pattern. Provide physical security to the machine. To prevent server machine, you have to monitor the log file regularly. If you find any intrusion, log, then immediately contact your administrator. The system administrator can implement the following security. Never use default password for machine. Do not choose a password which is easily predictable or found in dictionary. Do not choose passwords related to your name, loving ones, your date of birth, phone number, because it can be easily extracted through various sources by a black hat hacker. So before we go into Linux hacking, first an introduction on what exactly is Linux. Linux is one of the most important core components of an operating system. It is a kernel, and we can find many Linux-based operating systems available in the market. Kernel is a core component between an application and a hardware. Hence, whenever hardware needs to communicate with the software application, we need something like a kernel program. It consists of many small libraries written in C or C++ language. Windows operating systems can be hacked. In the same way, Linux based operating systems can also be compromised. Hackers are now more interested in hacking Linux based operating systems. The reason is simple, its popularity. Linux is an open source OS. Hence, its code is available online and anyone can download it and tinker with it. Most of the server machines run on Linux. It is another reason why Linux is under the target now. In this slide, we shall take a look into some recent Linux vulnerabilities. 3 new vulnerabilities were announced by a Polish security firm in the latest Linux kernel, which could allow an attacker to elevate their privileges on the machine and execute programs as the root administrator. These are just the series of serious or critical security vulnerabilities discovered in Linux over the past few months. There are many websites where we can find public exploits available and can be used to compromise different Linux operating systems. Some of these exploits are free, and for some of them you need to pay, but most of the free exploits will do the job. Shown here is a link of the website where you can find the most latest vulnerabilities found in the Linux kernel. Now we shall start looking into what exactly does it take to crack passwords in Linux. Cracking a Linux password can be done by using both manual and automated tools. The manual method is as such. If you want to reset a Linux user account password manually, all we need is just another live Linux OS and boot the target machine with it. Once the machine is booted, we just need to navigate to the target machine file system, under which we need to go to the /etc directory, and here we can find 4 important files that we need to modify. The file names in question are password, -password, shadow, and -shadow. We need to just modify all the above mentioned files. Then you can access Linux machine with a proper username. Now looking into the terms IP tables and IP chains. IP tables is a user space application program that allows a system administrator to configure the tables provided by the Linux kernel firewall and the chains and rules it stores. Different kernel modules and programs are currently used for different protocols. IP tables applies to IPv4 and IPv6, ARP tables to ARP, and EB tables to Ethernet frames. IP chains is a free software to control the packet filter of firewall capabilities in the 2.2 series of Linux kernels. It superseded IPFWADM but was replaced by IP tables in the 2.4 series. Unlike IP tables, IP chains is stateless. The kernel starts with 3 lists of rules. These lists are called firewall chains. The 3 chains are called input, output, and forward. When a packet comes in the kernel, it uses the input chain to decide its fate. If it survives that step, then the kernel decides where to next send the packet. If it is destined for another machine, it consults the forward chain. Finally, just before a packet is to go out, the kernel consults the output chain and forwards the packet accordingly. Now, Linux machines use a program called TCP wrappers to wrap network services so that they can control access and get activity log records. By this tool, we can find the unauthorized attempts taken by a hacker by seeing the log. TCP wrapper checks 2 rules first. The first one is /etc/hosts.deny, and the second is /etc/hosts.allow. Logs the attempt, authorizes or denies the attempt, and builds an audit report. It only does this for services that have been told to take advantage of the wrapper. Now looking into just a basic way of how we can remotely connect to a Linux or a Windows operating system using SSH. SSH is a secure remote login protocol developed by SSH Communications Security Corporations, which is based in Finland. There are three major components of SSH: SSH Transport Layer Protocol, SSH User Authentication Protocol, and SSH Connection Protocol. SSH Transport Layer Protocol provides server authentication, confidentiality, and integrity of services, which is quite important when you are going to log in remote machine. SSH User Authentication Protocol provides client-side authentication on top of the SSH Transport Layer Protocol, and the last one, SSH Connection Protocol. It multiplexes the secure channel provided by the SSH Transport Layer and User Authentication Protocols into several logical chains. These logical channels can be used for a wide range of purposes, such as secure interactive shell sessions and TCP port forwarding. Now, log monitoring and traffic monitoring is a very important aspect of information security. Netstat command is used to see all the connections between source and destination addresses. By this command, you can see the type of connection between source and destination addresses. Example, TCP command or UDP connection command. Some basic netstat commands are listed as follows: netstat -t -u and netstat -t -u -c. To see the connection graphically, we can use the tool ntop and vnstat. vnstat is a command line utility which is used to display network traffic logs, which is helpful for log analysis. Now let us take a look on Linux-based operating system called Backtrack. Backtrack is a Linux-based operating system designed by Jason Dennis. It has all the tools related to security, information gathering, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, digital forensics, etc. Backtrack can be run live through CD, or users are allowed to boot Backtrack directly from flash drive without installation. If needed, you can install Backtrack on your hard disk. It is also an option. So we can say Backtrack is a complete pack for information security. Backtrack has a lot of security tools. Some of them are Metasploit, AirCrackNG, Jerix Wi-Fi Cracker, Kismet, Nmap, OPHCrack, EtherCap, Wireshark, which was formerly known as Ethereal, BEEF or Browser Exploitation Framework, Hydra, OWASP Zap, etc. In Backtrack, all these tools are arranged into the following 12 categories, namely information gathering, vulnerability assessment, exploitation tools, privilege escalation, maintaining access, reverse engineering, RFID tools, stress testing, forensics, reporting tools, services, miscellaneous. Keylogger is a very commonly heard term in the current information security scenario. Keystroke logging is also known as key logging. It will record all the keystrokes used in a machine. It will record log on your browser which has your email credentials. There are numerous key logging methods including hardware and software. Here are some of the different key logging softwares: Spytek Spy Agent, Perfect Keylogger, Powered Keylogger, and KeyGhost. Next, we shall look into the concept of rootkits. Rootkit is an application that hides itself or shows its presence as another application on the computer. They will use important system files on your machine or operating system. Rootkit term comes originally from Unix systems and it is made up of two parts, root and kit. The root level on Unix system is like an administrator on Windows systems, and kit part explains that these tools came to the system as a kit made up of some other tools. Now it is important to understand the various methods employed by software solutions nowadays in order to detect rootkits. The first method is signature based detection. If your antivirus has signature on the malware rootkit, then it will be able to detect by machining its signature with the database. If the database does not have malware signature, then it will not be able to identify the application. The second form of detection technique is heuristic or behavior based detection, in which it identifies rootkits by their working pattern or by seeing which system file they are going to access. If these foreign applications are not allowed to access system files, then antivirus will report it as a malicious file. The final method of detection is integrity based detection, wherein it shows the presence of a rootkit by comparing their files and memory with a result that is known to be reliable. So this is all for the module on system hacking. Next up will be a demonstration to illustrate the concepts in a better way. Thank you.
In this demonstration, we shall be seeing how we can reset a Windows 7 password using specific utilities. So here we have a Windows 7 virtual machine on which we have set the password for a particular user account known as test. So in order to verify it, we should do the following steps. Open the command prompt and type in netuser, and here we can see that we have the username known as test, for which we have set the password. Once we log the particular computer, we can see that it is asking for the password for this user account, and if you enter the username and password, it will give you access to the computer. Now, what we have to do is, we have to shut down the system and try to reset the password while the system is shut off. So here, we shall be using a utility known as chntpw, and this is the ISO image for the utility which we shall use. Click on OK, and now in the physical simulation of this virtual system, we have an optical disk which contains this utility. So once we power on to the BIOS, we have to set the boot priority in such a way that the BIOS will load the CD-ROM drive first instead of the hard drive. CD-ROM drive contains the utility which we shall use for this particular demonstration. This is the utility. This is known as chntpw. So here we have to press enter. And here we can see that it gives a list of the partitions which are present in the computer. So we have to select the proper partition in which the files which we require are present. So we have only two partitions over here. So selecting the second partition because it seems to be the more probable candidate. We press Y on this particular prompt as we want to force the changes which we shall be making in this demonstration. Here, going by the message, it shows that we have found the correct partition. So pressing enter in this message, we have three options. We shall select the option for password reset. And next we shall select the edit use data and passwords option. Here we get a list of the usernames which are present on the computer. So as we saw earlier, we have to reset the password for the test account. So type in the username as such in the space given below, and we get the following options. So we shall select the first option, which enables us to clear the user password for the test account. So we can see that it gives a password cleared prompt. Now we have to exit from the utility. In this particular message, we have to save the changes which we have made in a particular file of the system. Type in reboot, start the machine, and we can see that it loads the utility again. So what we have to do is we have to change the priority at the BIOS menu. So for that we first power on the machine, BIOS system, and then change the boot priority to keep the hard drive at the topmost place. Now we can see that it is loading the operating system from the hard disk. This utility or this concept is particularly important when it comes to scenarios such as the user forgets the password of a particular computer, or if the administrator wants to reset the password of a computer which he hasn't dealt with yet. So here we can see that it is not asking for any password prompt. So that means we have resetted the password successfully for this account. There is various other utilities present in the market, but the utility which I have shown is a very lightweight utility and which can be used very easily, and it has a very intuitive interface. So here we can see that we did not require any password to log into the machine. So to verify further that the username and password has been reset for this username, we go to the control panel and we can see that it is giving the option of create a password. So that means we have resetted the password successfully for our account.